Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we'll be discussing the top 10 school supplies you're going to need when you start law school. Before I begin, please note that this video and this channel is for informational purposes only, so you must do your own research to ensure that the information is adequate, accurate, and applicable to you, your jurisdiction, your situation, and your law school. Always follow your law school's guidelines. Further, this is not, nor does it replace legal or other professional advice. Please contact a qualified attorney where you live or any other qualified personnel if you need assistance. Please make sure to put in the work and do what is best for you in order to succeed. This is not for attorney advertisement. Okay, let's get straight into it, as these are important. When you're in law school, it is back to school shopping, whether you're coming straight from college or whether you're coming to law school after a few years of being away from school. It is now time to get down to business of law school shopping. And there are several things you have to consider because law school is basically like jumping into a swimming pool. You have to swim to stay afloat, and you have to know what you need, and you have to be prepared because missing any of these things can really cost you. So, number 10 is paper and ink cartridges. And this is for the printer because if you want to print at school, you may do so, but they may actually charge you per page depending on your law school's policy. At least they did for mine. And most of the law schools these days go paperless, but sometimes you do need to print things. Leading into number 9, a decent printer. And this is a decent printer that connects to your computer or laptop. 8, flashcards. These particular flashcards are necessary because you can write down different, and as you'll learn later, rule statements. They're what called rule statements. They're questions, they're answers to different things that'll help you study. And many people find these really, really useful. Next, good quality notebooks. These are really, really useful for essentially writing down different things, jotting down different things on the fly when you don't have your phone. And also because your professor may not want you to use a laptop, depending on their rules and depending on whether or not you have an accommodation. But some professors think that writing by hand is the best thing. This is their method. Please use it. And you need several of them. Next, highlighters. Highlighters can be controversial because if you're using it to underline things in the textbook, some students don't like it because in the end they'll just end up highlighting all over the book. I did not use highlighters, obviously, because I had a digital version of the book, but again, this is an all-inclusive channel. Next is pens and pencils, especially number 2 pencils, and this is if you are taking an exam on a booklet, again, if you need to write notes down by hand, and if you're filling out a Scantron, although most of these are taken on a laptop. Next, flash drives. Flash drives are essential because let's say you don't have internet and you have to give somebody else notes, or let's say they have to give you notes. Let's say you need to transfer something from one computer to the other and you just don't know how to log on. Or maybe you want to back up your notes somewhere. Or maybe, especially for individuals who have accommodations, you need to really have some place to put your books, especially if something were to happen to your computer. Next, a decent backpack. And you need to have this one because you need to carry your textbooks in there, you need to carry your notebooks in there, pens and pencils, so it has to be pretty large. It can either be one of those rolling things, which many people have in school, or it can be something you carry over your shoulder, whatever is best for you. Now, the next one you need is, of course, your textbooks. You need your textbooks either before orientation or before the first day of class, so make sure that you get those. And make sure you kind of familiarize yourself with what they look like They're big textbooks, and you're going to get a lot of reading from them. The next thing you need is a good quality laptop. Yes, I will do a video on laptops themselves because laptops are extremely important in law school. It's actually, I'm not going to discuss too much about them here because it needs its own video, which I will be doing, so stay tuned for that. What you're going to need it for everything from outlining to taking notes to taking exams, everything. You're going to need it. And finally, the number one thing you're going to need is a good, which probably doesn't even go into this top 10, but is a good attitude. Is a good attitude. It is a can-do attitude. It is the attitude that I will succeed. The attitude that, yes, this will be hard, but it's something that I want to do and something that I will push through. It will be a lot of work, but this does have an end. And when this does end, I will come through having done the best that I can. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And having said that, that is it for this video on law school supplies. Again, stay tuned for the law school laptop video.